Goedenavond, guten Abend to all our viewers and our listeners. Ik ben Vency Vriend vanuit Amsterdam in Nederland. And welcome to INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio. It is so great to see all of you here. And of course, we'd love to greet all of you who are watching and are listening to us this evening. A warm welcome to you all. And now it is currently 6:58 p.m. here in Central European time, and that is 2 p.m. in the Philippines. So once again, welcome to IC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio. And without further ado, I would love to introduce all of our guests and our co-hosts this evening who are all the way from all over the world. So let's start now with Sister Arnie.
Hello, good afternoon. I am Sister Arnie, one of your co-hosts for today. I am actually from California, but I live in Texas. So welcome, everyone. And let's go ahead and go to one of our guests.
Yes, let's start with the one who is close to Central Europe as well. We have Brother Edward.
Hello po, good evening. My name po is Edward and I live here po in Tilburg in the Netherlands. Good evening to all of you po.
And from the Netherlands now, let's go to Germany, which is still part of Central Europe district. Brother Henry.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I'm Brother Henry Inocencio, originally from Hawaii, but I've now been here in Germany, Kaiserslautern Extension, part of a local congregation of Heidelberg. Nice to see you all this evening.
Yes, so now from Brother Henry in Germany, who came from the islands of Hawaii, let's now go to some other islands of the world. Let's go to Sister AJ. Sister AJ, kindly introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here po. I'm Sister AJ from the Philippines, pero I'm currently here po in the Cayman Islands, dito po sa Cayman Brac. Hello po.
And Sister AJ is also joined by two other sisters who are also from the Cayman Islands. Sisters, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Sister Noelia Ledesma, all the way from Grand Cayman, Cayman Islands, District of Caribbean, and I'm very, very honored to be here po, and hope you stay tuned po, and don't forget to comment the live chat below.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I know it's evening there in Central Europe. I'm Sister Jean Jimeno, live here from Miami, Florida, USA, but we are part of the District of Caribbean. So it's around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time here in Miami po. Please stay with us.
Yes, so as everybody can see, I hope our viewers, our listeners are excited because I am excited since all of our guests and our co-hosts are from all over the world. So it is very timely that our topic this evening is all about working overseas as overseas Filipino workers. So before that, I forgot. Since we are all from different parts of the world, let's play an icebreaker game that we have here in IC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio. So can we have Kuya Tech? Can we have our icebreaker game? Our icebreaker game this evening, brothers and sisters, is Zoom In Game City and Country Edition. It's very timely that we are all from all over the world. So Kuya Tech, can we have our first image? So we'll just take turns and see where it is. Can everybody see where this is? Sister Arnie, can you take a guess? Maybe Sister Arnie knows.
I'm thinking Tokyo, Japan.
Tokyo, Japan. Any other answers, brothers and sisters? It's got a really, really pretty sunset with a tower with lights. Brother Henry.
You know, despite me being from Hawaii and coming to Germany, I'm probably the least travel experienced. So anytime I see a thing with a pointy top like that, I only know of Eiffel Tower in Paris. So that's my final answer.
That can also be Brother Henry. Maybe Brother Edward. Do you think it's in Europe or maybe somewhere in Asia?
I think I'm leaning towards with Sister Arnie. It's like the tower in Japan.
And tower in Japan. Koyoteg is Japan. What did we say? Tokyo, Japan. Was it Tokyo, Japan? Koyoteg. It is Tokyo, Japan. So yeah, brother Edward and sister Arnie are correct. Don't worry, sister Noana and sister Jean and sister AJ. The next one is yours. Kuya Tech, our next one, please. Ah, sister AJ. I think sister AJ is looking like she knows the answer.
Oh no. Actually, hindi ko siya alam, but it's just a wild guess po. Maybe it's in Dubai. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's in
No? Oh,
Dubai.
since Sister Arnie knows it.
I think that's Greece.
Sister Jean. We're in Greece, sister Jean. We need the city as well.
Athens.
Athens, Greece. Any other guesses? If not, then we go ask our Kuya Tech. Kuya Tech, where is that photo with the pillars and the nice sky? And it is Athens, Greece. Yes, good job, Sister Jean. It seems like even though we're from all over the world, we're very well traveled. Our third one, Kuya Tech. Skyscrapers and lots of buildings. Sister Noena, maybe you know where this is.
I'll take a wild guess po, maybe somewhere in New York. Even though there's no Liberty showing, but looks like New York to me though.
New York City in the United States.
Yeah.
Brother Henry, maybe you know. Oh, yeah, take a guess, Brother Henry.
I would have to say New York as well. I think that's the only building that I know in New York, in the middle.
Should we ask someone who is currently in the United States? Sister Arnie, do you agree with them or maybe it's somewhere else?
I was tossing between Chicago and New York, but I think that is New York City because that looks like the Empire State Building, but I don't know. But I think it is New York City.
I think it's New York City. We can ask Kuya Tech. Kuya Tech, where is it? Where was that photo with buildings and skyscrapers? It is in New York, USA. So yes, that is correct. We have a couple more brothers and sisters. Kuya Tech. Uh-huh. Like everyone's nodding their head and saying yes. Kuya Henry, go ahead, Kuya Henry. We'll give
Oh,
you this one.
I didn't want to answer that because that's the only thing that I know that exists. You know what? I haven't been there yet. I'm only a few hours away. That definitely is the Eiffel Tower.
Yes, Brother Henry is confident. Brother Edward, have you been to this part of Europe yet?
Uh, oh, Definitely, I think this is somewhere in Paris. So, but to answer your question, Sister Wensi, yeah, I've been in Paris just a couple months ago. So
Yeah.
perhaps that's my answer.
Yes, so Paris is I would also say Paris. Paris is also a nice city to visit. Kuya Tech, is it in Paris, France? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Yes, it was in Paris, France. And that's right. Here in Central Europe, it's only a couple hours drive away, and you can also take trains. So yes, that's definitely a place that is very well visited by tourists alike. Kuya Tech, do we have any more? If we don't have any more, then we can get on with our discussion, which is talking all about working overseas. Work OFW, which means, what does it mean, Sister Arnie? OFW. We learned this today. We just found
Yes,
out.
I did learn it today because I'm not an OFW, but I heard it was an overseas Filipino worker. So these are our folks from the Philippines who goes abroad and works outside of the Philippines. So
Yes, that's right, Sister Arnie. And so we'll just go ahead and start our conversation about everyone's sacrifices and their experiences with working overseas. Sister Arnie, do you want to start us off?
sure, let's go ahead and ask our first question, and then please just chime in whoever would like to answer. But first of all, just tell us what about your journey as an overseas Filipino worker and what motivated you to work abroad. So, Sister Noena is on the top left corner. Let's start with her.
Hi, hello po. Yes, actually, almost 7 years or more than 7 years now that I work as an overseas Filipino worker. The first job was somewhere in the Middle East for 5 years, and then here I'm currently here in the Cayman Islands in Caribbean for 2 years now. And well, the first experience when I was in the Middle East wasn't really easy. I struggled a lot when I was there, but it was way different when I came here in the Caribbean. It's more easy. It's more people are more accommodating. The work is more not stressful as when I work there. So I can say there's a lot of differences. And also I even worked in the Philippines for a year or two and during the pandemic time. So three different work experiences. I can say that right now where I am right now is more comfortable or more, I can say, more blessed that I have right now, that I have a freedom of my time. Like after work I don't need to work overtime forcefully or unpaid. But here we just go the clock, like no need to do overtime work. And I always or I have this freedom to go to church always, almost every night, and that's what I love the most. And I'm really really grateful and blessed that I'm here in the Cayman Islands or in the District of Caribbean. That's all.
Very good. Brother Edward, I'm just curious, what motivated you to go to the Netherlands to work?
Well, actually, Sister Annie, it was never my intention to work outside the Philippines. Well, my dream is and aspiration is to, travel all over the world, but not really to work abroad. But even though I never really applied, still an opportunity came, and a recruiter from LinkedIn reached out to me and discussed this chance, right? So at first, I thought that was just a scam because lots of scammers nowadays. But yeah, it's like that this opportunity is very good to be true. And they even said that I can bring my whole family here together here in the Netherlands. Until I was invited to an interview, and then the company really started working on my visa, and even the flight and the accommodation was really prepared by my employer. And then, yeah, we got here. And yeah, to answer your question, Sister Aini, what motivated me is that, you know, this opportunity working in Europe is, we can say, a once in a blue moon opportunity. So I just took the chance, knowing that this will be a good experience for me to enhance my capabilities, work with international. And yeah, there are lots of systematic ways of living here in abroad compared, of course, with the Philippines. And yeah, the level of education, the transportation, the government. Those maybe are the benefits or the motivation that we can have here working in abroad.
Oh, that's good. But you know what, Brother Henry, my question is going to be a little bit more different because you're actually from the United States and you decided to go to Europe to work. What motivated you to do that?
So, being in America, with the 50 states, every state has its own set of challenges. And everyone thinks that Hawaii is a paradise and everything is just beautiful and great here. We actually have a lot of challenges in Hawaii, with the cost of living, and it's just other aspects of uh, other challenges that we face there in terms of education system, traffic, roadways, and it's really just getting pretty crowded there. In terms of growth and opportunity for my career, there wasn't really that much room to grow, at least in where I was at. And so, what really was happening for me personally was sending a lot of applications out there, and the offers that came in, or the offer that came in, was here in Germany. There was a opportunity that really interested me um, to just really expand my horizons, and it caught my attention. I put in an application, and turns out everything just worked out correctly. First thing I did was contact the local congregation. I wanted to make sure first that I was going to be able to perform my duties and attend the worship services. And sure enough, it was actually everything kind of fit into place. And so when me and my family moved here and everything just started to work out, um, And my wife, she also got a job here, and she was able to smoothly transition. I was facing a lot of positivity at my workplace, and so that upward climb in terms of my career, it was just happening very, very. I don't want to say easily, but it was just taking off at where I'm currently working at. So the motivations was to really just escape the challenges that we had in Hawaii, and coming here, there there were its own set of challenges, but also eye-opening opportunities, a lot of growth in terms of personal character, and just meeting different people from all over the world. I mean, we're in Hawaii. We're surrounded by a big ocean. We have some visitors, but at the same time, you don't meet as much diversity as you do here in Europe. There's just so much people to work with, to work for, to it's a unique experience. So the motivations that I had definitely paid off, and I'm so happy that we actually ended up here in Germany, in Europe.
Based from what Brother Edward and Brother Henry has already mentioned, truly blessed are, taking that step to step out of your comfort zone, to work overseas for personal growth, as well as for your career, as well as for yourself, and as well as for the family. So yeah, so those are some, and also Sister Noina also mentioned having that time to be able to attend the worship services, which is truly blessed indeed. How about you, Sister AJ? Can you tell us about your journey as an OFW, as an overseas Filipino worker?
Hello again, everyone. Well, as I said, I'm working here po in Cayman Islands, here on Cayman Brac po. I am a housekeeper. Way back po in the Philippines, it's not easy because it's not the same job that I had in the Philippines po. But anyway, I'm gonna use po Taglish, and Sister Arnie will be my beautiful translator po. Ayun, being an OFW po, it's not really easy. Sabi nga po ni Sister Noenya, hindi po madali. Maybe lahat naman, we have the challenges, but the very big challenge po is being having a different ibang-ibang how would I call this? It's a very different culture po, which is a big adjustment for me because it's my very first country po that I worked for as a OFW po.
You translated all of that by yourself, so you're doing a good job. Everything you said, you pretty much said in English, so that's okay.
Yes, that's right. So Sister AJ, maybe if later on Sister AJ doesn't find the English word, we'll ask Sister Arnie. We'll go to Sister Arnie, or maybe Sister Arnie also speaks German, or maybe Brother Henry, and we can translate it. But that's no problem. We have one last panelist who will answer a question about being of overseas Filipino workers. Sister Jean, can you tell us about your journey about as a Filipino, as an overseas Filipino worker, and what motivated you to work outside of the Philippines?
All right, so it's a very challenging journey po. My first overseas employment is United Kingdom. I was hired as a nurse po in National Health System of United Kingdom is in East Sussex, Hastings. And I just realized that it was very far from the worship service. And there was no worship service there. The closest one is in Battersea. So that was very challenging because I had to travel by train, by bus. And because of my work as a nurse, and I am a choir member as well. So I had to do a lot of sacrifices. So I was there for 2 years. That's the contract. Then I was about to be promoted as a senior nurse, but I declined the promotion because it's too far from the worship service. I cried a lot because I have to do overnight stay in order for me to perform the duties that I have the next day. So I had to travel Wednesday night to perform on Thursday morning. Then have to go back to work, then travel again on Saturday night to perform on Sunday morning. So my boss told me, she's English supervisor, she said, you are making the train station very rich because you're spending a lot of your money going to the main, the Battersea. So I just prayed to God and asked that please help me, I don't want to stay here anymore because of the weather condition. The weather is so cold, it's freezing out there. UK. Although in my area there was no snow, but it was freezing and I got sick and I was not happy. So I prayed to God, made my devotional prayer, and I went to the Philippines, went home for um, in December. And then I asked if I can be able to perform in the Thanksgiving worship service, although I am a choir member in Battersea. So I was granted that request. I was very happy. I was able to perform a Thanksgiving and ask God, please help me. I don't want to stay there anymore. Where should I go? But my parents encouraged me to go to the United States because my brother is here in New York. So I prayed if I have that opportunity. Then when I went home, I found an employer, recruiter in the USA. And and then we talked. I said, I'm just here for a visit. So he offered me a job, and I asked him, where is this place this hospital you're offering me? I said, I am a member of the Church of Christ. That's the first thing that I need to know. And he told me, yes, I know where your church is, and it is very close. The hospital is very close. Okay, so then we get the process. I went back to UK. Then we processed the papers, and he said, I'll give you an immigrant visa. So in UK, I was just working visa at that time. So, and I said, okay, and how long will I have to wait? So, immigrant visa in the USA is not easy. So I decided to go home. And in the Philippines, I waited for my immigrant visa. So I just waited and started looking for a job as a caregiver, instructor, anything that can, just to sustain me. Then after that, my immigrant visa came. So I went to the United States. So my my brother is in New York, but I ended up in Miami. And my brother said, why not go to New York? I said, I don't like to be in New York. I don't like the working visa. I want an immigrant visa, so I don't have to exit. I want a permanent stay. So it's a short story. To make it short, I am now here in the Miami, and here I've been here for more than 20 years, and more than 20 years as a registered nurse, and I got my citizenship in the U.S. citizenship, and that was a blessing. And blessing of all is I'm still a choir member. I am a CWS teacher, and I am an INCRadio producer of Caribbean. So that is the blessing. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my experience.
I'm just curious for all of those who's working abroad. Do the companies you work for, or who takes care of your visas? Is that something you guys have to do on your own, or is that something that is done by either the government or the companies that you work for, so that you could stay abroad? Anyone can answer.
For me po, I was hired directly all the way from the Philippines. So that was during the pandemic. So I sent a bunch of my resumes online. I searched all the companies online. And then out of those bunch of companies, 10 of them emailed me back and requested for an interview online. And then out of those 10, there's 3 offers that I got from them. And the 3 of so when I received the offer that I wanted, that's the time that they will process the permit. So I have to submit all the requirements, like the paperwork had to be emailed, scanned, and the forms was also emailed to me, and I had to fill it out online too. So when I send them everything online, and then they process it. So one of the HR, or the HR herself, she submitted the papers to the immigration office, and then it will just take like less than a week to get the permit granted. So when the permit is out, that's the time that they will email back to me, and then they ask me through email if I'm ready to fly, when is my preferred schedule of flight. Then I reply, my preferred schedule of flight. And the blessing part was I received the good news right after my sorry, just right after my worship service, right after I came out from worship service, and I prayed to God very hard, like every day. I prayed a lot, like, please give me this job. I need it for my mom and for my family. And then that's it. That's the answer of prayer for me, and I'm really really blessed to be here. Thank you so much, Paul.
To answer your question, Sister Arnie, for overseas Filipino workers, usually we go through an agency. So the companies really, they don't bother with immigration. They don't want that. It's a long process and a tedious task for them. So the easier for them to do is to go into agency. So for example, they need nurses. So there is an agency in the Philippines that recruits nurses. So you go through there, and the Filipino nurses apply and submit all the requirements. They process all. I think for now they are offering immigrant visa for the nurses and even the medical technologies. So the hospitals are hiring right now. Even my hospital is hiring, but you have to go through an agency. The only thing is be careful with what agency to choose from. Don't just grab any agency. First and foremost, you have to consider our faith that you will be able to worship. Because some of those that come here, they realize that the worship service, like for example, they came here to Miami for 1 month training. They were nurses, and their assignment after the 1 month training will be in Tennessee. So when we talk to them, do you know how far is the worship service from your hospital? So when we checked, we told them it's 4 hours drive. How can you worship? So then we advised them, because this is in the USA, so talk to your employer, okay, and tell them we have a religious freedom here in the United States. Worshiping to God is important to us. So if you can transfer me to a hospital, which is nearest to my worship service, so I can attend. You can also have my spiritual growth. So good enough. We told them to do your devotional prayer so you can find the hospital that will be closest to the worship service. And thanks be to God, it was granted. So they moved to, I'm not sure if it's Kentucky or Memphis, but the hospital is like maybe 10 minutes away from the worship service. So that's why we encourage the brethren, yes, go abroad, work abroad as a Filipino overseas worker, but please consider that you are close to the worship service, that you will be able to worship our Almighty God. Just to enlighten you once again, before I went to UK, I went to the central office. Okay, I asked the permission and asked the central office, because we have an office there to guide us. So I asked permission, if I go to UK in this kind of hospital, will I be able to perform a duty as a choir member, and will I be able to worship God? So the church administration, right there and there at that time, called the district office of Battersea. I don't know, I think it's United. I'm not sure if it's United Kingdom. This is United Kingdom now, but before it was still, I don't know what kind of district office, the name. So I heard the minister of England talking to the minister in the central office. So I was very, very happy that I have the guidance that, of the church administration. So that's the experience. Thank you, Bob.
Yes, po. I would like to add po dun sa what Sister Jean just mentioned. So same as what she did, I also came or dropped by at the central office po to ask for permission or to check if there's really a worship service here in different places that I've been to po. Because I also, like I mentioned earlier, I also came from Middle East, and there is and also po, I also visited Florida last 2007. Of course, there are a lot of church worship services there po. But the central office called all the way to Miami, this minister. I don't know the name, I forgot, but I was being coordinated to, so one of the brethren picked me up from where I'm staying in Tampa, and then they supported me or assisted me to go to worship service because I don't know how to travel there yet. And then here I came in Islands. Before coming here, I already have more friends, a lot of people who know that I know who is already here for years. So I'm pretty very very confident that there is a worship service here. But that's why I'm here. Yes, that's all.
Very, very inspiring from our panelists this evening. All of those stories are such an inspiration to, well, for me, I'm not an overseas Filipino worker, but I know a lot of our viewers and our listeners have the same, has gone through the same journey and also feels the same as our panelists this evening. So thank you for sharing those. We don't have a lot of time now, but I would just like to just go around and just a final question to everyone is, how do you see your future as an overseas Filipino worker? And what are your hopes and dreams moving forward? Go ahead, if you're ready to answer, just unmute your mic and tell us your answer. Or else I will call it one by one. Brother Edward.
I can answer po on my behalf. So to be honest po, my work here in the Netherlands is just temporary po eh. So though my contract is indefinite po with my employer, but still we depend on the project from the client. So meaning if we don't have any more project from the client, we have no more work. So but we are having our family po. I'm living with my family, my wife and my kids here in the Netherlands po. We are having dedicated prayers every night so that we may extend our journey here, working in the Netherlands for more years. As I mentioned earlier, never in my intention to work in abroad. But then again, we've been used to the environment here. It's very, very systematic here in the Netherlands. And in spite of the chance that of returning home, we are very positive that God only knows what's best for me and my family. So we still bought a house actually in here in the Netherlands, knowing that it's still a good investment in the future. Okay, so it will it if we'll be given a chance po na we'll stay here for more years, then or even if we go back in our country in the Philippines, we'll make sure po na despite our busy schedule in life and work, we'll never cease to give praise to Almighty God po. Yun po, Sister Wency. Thank you.
Go ahead, Brother Henry.
So for me, I really don't know what's ahead of us. When we came here, just like Brother Edward, I had no intention of leaving Hawaii. I was very comfortable, and to some extent, maybe it is paradise. Everything is really close by, and if you know me, I like to talk about food a lot. We had really good food around us. It was only like a 2-minute drive away to get, if there's any sushi lovers out there. I love sushi. I love raw fish. I love ahi. It was all within arm's reach. So it was a very comfortable life. So just to expand my horizons though and take that opportunity and just to take that leap to where I'm at now, 2 years later, after being here in Germany for 2 years now, I really don't know when we're going home. We're really enjoying it here. My kids' education has really taken off. Me and my wife, we really enjoy our careers here. We really enjoy all the church activities that we are participating in. And while we get to travel throughout the district for all the different activities, we're also exploring Europe at the same time and meeting brethren who are going through their own set of challenges. We get to know them. We get to become better friends, better, we hang out together. We're making a lot of relationships, a lot of bonding here. So where does the future hold for us? We really don't know. We're just leaving it up to God. We just pray for a bright future for our kids, for our career. We miss our family at home, but with technology now, we can always say hi to them. It's not like before. So whatever the future holds, as long as we continue to perform our duties, I think we're not afraid. We are really looking forward to what is to come. We're in a great place right now, and so we'll just continue to have our devotional prayers and keep fulfilling our duties, and we'll see where that takes us.
Sisters, your answer, please. Your hopes and dreams for the future and what the future holds for you as an overseas Filipino worker.
Well, for me po, before going out abroad or before becoming an OFW, it's been always my dream, childhood dream to to reach or to be in a different place, especially when Filipino mindset, mostly we love to, although we have this mindset that, oh, I want to go to America, I want to go to the States, I want to be a US citizen, something like that when I was a kid. So when I had this chance to visit the Tampa, Florida way back 2007 for 3 months, it was a dream come true for me, and then it was really a blessing for me. And then since then I've been longing to go out of the Philippines to work there and travel at the same time. And then that's why it's been always my dream that wherever I go, as long as there's a worship service, I go there. It doesn't matter where, it's just a worship service is there. I can perform my duties. That's my hopes, that's my dreams, wherever it is. That's all for.
How about you, Sister AJ?
Okay. Same with Sister Nuenya. Way back po, when I was in the Philippines po, ang pinaka main goal ko is to be with my parents kasi nga po my parents po are here po on Brac. Pero when I was here po, parang sabi ko, oh, I love to stay in the island po. Dahil sobrang different po. It's very different po compared po sa Manila. Because I worked po in Manila for like 8 years and then I went here po and then parang sabi ko, oh, I love the nature. Parang sabi nga po ng Brother Henry po, same po doon sa Hawaii, parang it's an island. So parang I'm loving po the nature here. But then kahit saan naman po tayo magpunta, our very main goal po talaga is to makatupad po ng ating tungkulin. We do our church duties po. Yun ang hindi dapat natin makakalimutan. Kahit po umuwi tayo ng Pilipinas or we stay here po sa ibang bansa, we should always po pursue po yung ating pong duties po, which is to worship our Lord God po. Sister Wancy?
Thank you for that, Sister AJ. I think that was all in English as well, so we don't need our beautiful translator for this evening. And let's now go on to Sister Jean.
Yes po. Thank you so much po for having me here. So my dreams. Okay, so I've been here for so long now and enjoying my citizenship as a U.S. citizen. Thank you for that opportunity to be here in Miami. I never moved to New York, although I have a license in New York as a nurse. I never worked there because I was thinking about my duties and the freezing temperature in New York. Maybe I will not be able to survive the snow and everything. So I prefer to stay here in Miami, and I believe that this is my calling to be here in Miami. And my dream is to be able to help the church administration for the growth of the Caribbean group worship services because we have a lot of islands in the Caribbean, and the district office is in Miami. So one of our growing congregations is in Haiti and Dominican Republic, and I'll be very, very happy to be of help to the church administration for the growth of our church in those areas po, even in other parts of the Caribbean. There is a great future po, great work of salvation there in Haiti and in Dominican Republic, and we became part of the pioneering activities there. The choir members in Miami went there to support our missionary works in the Caribbean, and I was very happy to be a part of that po, and I would like to continue to be a part of that, and seeing in the future the growth that Haiti will become a district, Dominican Republic will be a district, and other parts of the Caribbean in the Cayman Islands. I went to Grand Cayman. I was dreaming of this. The brethren there are growing as well in their membership. I was dreaming of having their own place of worship, that I will be able to see a Church of Christ building that they will not just be renting. I went to Aruba. We have our brethren there who also you know, they would like to have their own worship service even in the Nassau, Bahamas. So I was very blessed that I was given that opportunity to see our brethren in the Caribbean islands, and I would like to be a part of that growth of the church. So that is my dream po, and hopefully God will give me still the life and strength and the blessings that I can share to our church po. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all our panelists. Truly blessed indeed. And we do hope our viewers and our listeners were inspired by these stories of faith, as well as the journey that our fellow brethren, or also overseas Filipino workers, went through. But thank you everyone for sharing with us your stories. And on behalf of INC Radio Central Europe Satellites, we would like to thank you for joining us this evening for those wonderful and inspiring stories. But for now, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue on with our program. We'll be right back.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Saan na kaya yun? Uy! Kayo po pala yan! Hello! Ate Tay here. Sorry, ang dami kong hinahanap. Kayo, ano bang hanap nyo? Usapang self-development? Baka naman intrapersonal connection? Or physical improvement? Dito sa bagong programa ng INC Radio ay malalaman natin with good conversation and proper research ang tungkol sa pagkakaroon ng growth mindset and good hobbies. So from Monday to Friday, 10 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. Bye! See you!
This Monday on Like and Share. Be ready with the rustic Mediterranean recipe of olive bread. Easy to make and no kneading required. Discover and impress everyone by learning how to speak French. Be sure to have the life and work balance. Let us learn about freelancing that will surely give you your time freedom. Catch all of this Monday on Like and Share, October 28, 2024 at 2 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. Only here on INC Radio.
Welcome back. Still tuned into INC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio. Before we went on break, we were talking about the experiences and the inspiring stories of some of our brethren who are overseas Filipino workers, or even the ones that were from the US, the United States, and they imparted onto us some very, very inspiring stories. So we do hope our viewers, our listeners, were able to take in and be inspired by those stories. So now here in IC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio, we have a segment called German is Fun, and this is to learn some basic German phrases or words. So, Kuya Tek, can we now have our German is Fun? And we hope everyone will enjoy this. So let's listen and watch this.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Hello everyone, guten Tag. Wie geht's euch? Willkommen zu Deutsch macht Spaß. Welcome to German is Fun. I'm Sister Malu Francisco, welcoming you to another edition of Fun Session Learning Basic German. German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Our lesson for today is about summer and winter time. We'll learn German words and expressions about changing from summertime to wintertime in Germany and other Central European countries. Our first word for today is time. In German, auf Deutsch, Zeit. Zeit. And we spell it this way, Z as in zebra, E-I-T. And remember, the combination of EI in German is I. The next word is time change. In German, auf Deutsch, Zeitumstellung. I'll say the word syllable by syllable. Please repeat after me. Zeit. Second syllable, Stell. Lung. Once more, Zeitumstellung. The change to summertime or Sommerzeit happens in spring. Sommerzeit is the word for summertime. It's also called daylight saving time in English, or DST, auf Deutsch, Sommerzeit. First syllable, Zeit. The stress is on the first syllable, Sommerzeit. Summertime begins on the last Sunday of March. The time is adjusted forward from 2 o'clock in the morning of Sunday to 3 in the morning of Sunday. Time springs forward.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
From summertime, the time changes to wintertime, and that happens in autumn. Winterzeit. Winterzeit. The stress is on Win, on the first syllable. Winterzeit. Or what you call Normalzeit. Normalzeit. The stress is on the second syllable. Mal. Normalzeit. Wintertime begins on the last Sunday of October. Wintertime happens in the fall. It falls back. Instead of springing forward, it falls back. From 3 o'clock in the morning, it will return to 2 o'clock in the morning of Sunday.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
This has been today's episode of German is Fun, Deutsch macht Spaß. Ich bin Schwester Malu Francisco. Ich danke euch fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal on German is Fun, Deutsch macht Spaß. Bleibt gesund. Tschüss.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Fun for this week, Deutsch Max Pass. I do hope our guests from the US were able to pick up a couple of German words, which maybe they can use later as they say their goodbyes in our today's episode. But yes, that is correct. What Sister Malu was teaching us in German is that now we are on winter time, which is now 7 hours behind Philippine time. I don't know the difference is in the US, but we're 7 hours behind from the Philippines as we had an extra hour of sleep this morning. So yes, that was our German is fun. Now we go on to our CEU in action. Kuya Tag, our CEU in action for this week. Yes, so CFO in action or CEU in action, Central Europe in action, is all about all of the activities that we have in our district. We've had in our district. So we have some photos to show our viewers, and I'll talk a little bit about all of those activities. So Kuya Tek, can we show those photos, please? Our first activity was from the CWS, or the Children's Worship Service cooking tutorial, which is all about making healthy sandwich and wraps. For our guests in the US, if you're not aware, here in Europe, sandwiches is a staple for breakfast and for lunch to take to work or to school. So in this activity, the kids were able to learn how to make healthy sandwiches. So they had bread and meat as well as some vegetables. So as you can see, I think the kids were enjoying making their own sandwiches instead of their parents making their sandwiches. So it's a nice change for them to be able to make their own. So they had a lot of vegetables in their sandwiches, some meat, and as well as some cheese. Cheese is also popular here, and some fruits as well. So that is our first activity that the CWS, the Children's Worship Service, had. Next up, we have their museum trip as well from Bonn, Germany. So the CWS, the Children's Worship Service, kids in Bonn, Germany were able to visit a museum which is all about nature, animals. They were able to see animals big and small, with little legs, with big legs, tall, small, and they were also able to learn where they live. And it's a good activity for them to be able to see those animals in nature, and as well as might have been, to see it in person. They might have not have been alive, but it's a good experience for them to see them, as well as a district-wide activity from the Children's Worship Service of Parents Appreciation. So this was to show their parents their appreciation, and they did this through flowers. So they were making some flower arrangements that they were giving to their moms, especially. So I can see the photo. In the photo there was some smiles, and I can tell those kids were from the local congregation of Amsterdam. So we're very proud of them that they were able to make their parents proud. They were able to make their parents smile by works of art, by flowers, by cards. So yes, and it was very much thoroughly enjoyed by the kids as well as the parents. So yes, and on our last photo is some of the Children's Worship Service officers that were facilitating the arts and crafts, as well as the activities that the Children's Worship Service did here in our local in the district, sorry, not just our local congregation. So that was our CEU, our CFO in action for this week. There was a lot, but then we also have here in Central Europe Satellite Studio is our top 3 clusters. So Kuya Tech, and we now have our top 3 clusters.
Third place, Heidelberg Cluster. Second place, Zurich Cluster. First place, Berlin Cluster.
Yes, so our top 3 clusters are all of the hashtags that our viewers and listeners send in our YouTube live chat. So everyone collates them, and we get a top 3 every week. So yes, that is all from me, Sister Arnie. Sister Arnie, do you have, maybe can you impart onto us some Dutch word, oh not Dutch, sorry, some German words? Well, although Dutch is also similar to German, but maybe some German words as well as some closing from you.
Well, sorry, I cannot speak German. That was always a language I thought that was difficult. But before we do end, I do want to thank all the viewers that were participating today. I'm going to call out a few of the places that have tuned in. And if I missed your area, it's just because I couldn't pronounce it. So, we did have a lot of people from Zurich tuning in, and also from Berlin, from Hamburg, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, and then the rest of the other places I couldn't pronounce. So I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher your countries or your cities. But yes, thank you so much for everyone who has tuned in. And before we go, does you guys want to give out your last shout out to anyone you just want to give a shout out to? Brother Edward, anyone you'd like to shout out before we go?
Yeah, I would like to shout out to my wife, Anna, and to my kids, Dwayne, Eden, and Amanda.
Dream, that's a cute name. What about you, Brother Henry? Anyone you'd like to shout out?
I'd like to shout out to my wife and kids are right behind this curtain, are tuned into the broadcast. So shout out to my family who's always watching and supporting. Shout out to our fellow brethren in the cluster of Heidelberg who's always tuning in to these broadcasts to support. And shout out to Central Europe District If there's anyone in Hawaii Pacific who's watching, shout out to you as well. I'll be home maybe next year, maybe not. We'll see.
And I think I'm going to add a shout out to your brother Jeff because I'm going to make sure he watches this one today. All right, Sister AJ, anyone you'd like to shout out?
Oh yes po. Shout out po to all our brothers and sisters po sa District of Caribbean and syempre po our District Minister po, our brother Gary C. Garcia po.
Thank you. Sister Jean?
Well, big shout out po to Kamanli and Daya and to the entire INCRadio International po for our 10th anniversary. Yes po, we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of INCRadio International. And also po, shout out of course to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo po for your upcoming birthday. Advance happy birthday po. We love you so much po, Brother Eduardo.
And Sister Noena?
Yes po, hello po. Just like what has been said po, greetings po, happy birthday to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo po. And of course to our District Minister, Brother Garcia Garcia, and our Assistant District Minister, Brother Solomon Hoves. And of course kay Sister Jade Escrito, our producer po ng Little Loves. So mga may time po manood ng Little Loves every Saturdays po yan. And of course po, shout out to my local minister po ka Alain Castro po. And I think that's all po. Thank you so much po for having me here. Having me here. Sorry po.
How about you, Sister Wency? Do you have anyone you want to shout out?
If you were able to hear Po, I would just like to shout out to my husband Po, Brother Paul, who was behind and who was also speaking in Dutch Po. Yeah.
Well, we'd like to thank all of you all for joining us. Thank you for our viewers and our listeners who are watching. And of course, we'd like to thank the ministers here in the District of Central Europe. The CFO advisor, Brother Scott Augustine, the Assistant District Minister, Brother Jason Dulalas, and the District Minister, Brother Joel Catalan. I hope I said his name correctly. And as always, we would always want to thank our CFO Coordinator and CEBSI President, Brother Angel Iranio Manalo, and of course, our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, who will be celebrating his 69th birthday on October 31st. So on behalf of Central Europe, we would like to say happy birthday. And also on behalf of Central Europe, we would like to greet INCRadio happy 10th anniversary. Please continue to view and listen to our program, and we will see you all again next week, same time, same place. Greetings.
Thank you po, Kuya Tek.